أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا ومن كفر فإن الله غني عن العالمين صدق الله المولانا العظيم. محترم حضرات، مولانا رشید صاحب نے بتایا کہ 5 منٹ بات کرنا ہے حج کے متعلق. اللہ سبحانہ و تعالیٰ نے اپنے پاک کلام میں ارشاد فرمایا کہ وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا، کہ لوگوں کے لیے جن کے پاس وسعت وہاں جانے کی حج کے لیے تو اس کو حج کے لیے جانا چاہیے. تو اللہ سبحانہ و تعالیٰ اس آیت میں یہ فرماتے ہیں کہ میں نے آپ کو مال و دولت دیا ہے کہ آپ میرے گھر کے لیے آ جاؤ، حج کے لیے آ جاؤ. اور حج بہت بڑا رکن ہے. اللہ سبحانہ و تعالیٰ نے دین کی بقا اور دین کا اختتام حج کے اوپر فرمایا کہ جب قرآن مقدس کے ایک آیت کریم اليوم اکملت لکم دینکم واتممت علیکم نعمتی ورضیت لکم الاسلام دینا، یہ 6 پارے کے اندر ہے. ایک مرتبہ یہود کے بعض علماء حضرت عمر کے پاس آئے اور فرمایا کہ قرآن کریم کے اندر ایک آیت شریفہ ہے، اگر یہ آیت ہم پر نازل ہوتی تو ہم اس دن کو خوشی کا دن مناتے، سال کھیرے کا دن مناتے. تو حضرت عمر نے فرمایا کہ الیوم اکملت لکم دینکم واتممت علیکم نعمتی ورضیت لکم الاسلام دینا، یہ وہ آیت ہے. حضرت عمر نے فرمایا کہ جب یہ آیت نازل ہوئی اس وقت میں موجود تھا، یعنی عرفات کے میدان کے اندر اللہ نے یہ آیت کریمہ نازل فرمائی. عصر کی نماز کے بعد یہ آیت کریمہ نازل فرمائی کہ آج کے دن تمہارے دین کو ہم نے مکمل کر دیا، یعنی آج کے بعد کوئی نیا دین نہیں آئے گا، دین ختم ہو گیا، بس جو یہی دین قیامت تک رہے گا. تو خوش نصیب ہے وہ لوگ کہ پہلی بات تو اپنے آپ کو خوش نصیب سمجھے کہ میں اس جگہ جا رہا ہوں، ایسی جگہ جا رہا ہوں کہ جہاں پہ اللہ کا قرآن نازل ہوا تھا. میں ایسی جگہ دیکھنے کے لیے جا رہا ہوں کہ جہاں اللہ کے نبی نے قدم رکھے تھے. میں ایسی جگہ جا رہا ہوں کہ جہاں ہزاروں لاکھوں فرشتے مقرر ہوتے ہیں. تو پہلی بات تو یہ کہ اپنے آپ کو خوش نصیب سمجھے، اللہ کی نعمت کا شکر ادا کرے کہ اللہ نے مجھے مال و دولت دیا اور اللہ ہی مجھے بلاتا ہے اپنے گھر کے لیے 2 رکعت نماز پڑھے. تو یہ کریں گے تو انشاءاللہ اللہ ہمیں بار بار بلائے گا کہ میرے بندے نے میری نعمت کی قدر کی. جب اللہ ہمیں بلا ہی رہا ہے تو وہاں جانے کے لیے تیار ہو جائے، ریڈی ہو جائے کہ ہمیں کیا کرنا چاہیے. قرآن نے بھی یہ بھی بتا دیا کہ الحج اشہر معلومات کہ فمن فرض فیہن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال فی الحج، کہ جس شخص نے احرام باندھ لیا، جس نے اپنے اوپر حج کو مقرر کر لیا، اس کو چاہیے کہ بیکار باتیں نہ کرے، لڑائی جھگڑے نہ کرے. یہ حج کے اندر خصوصاً اللہ نے یہ فرمایا فمن فرض فیہن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق، اور بیہودہ باتیں، گالیاں نہ بولے احرام کے حالت کے اندر، اس لیے کہ یہ وہ عمل ہے کہ جو حج کو برباد کرنے والے عمل ہے. انسان کی عادت ہوتی ہے کہ ہم یہاں بات میں بعض مرتبہ گالیاں بول دیتے ہیں یا غیبت کر لیتے ہیں، بیکار باتیں کرتے ہیں، لائنی باتیں. تو وہاں یہ عادت کی وجہ سے انسان وہاں بھی گناہ کر دیتا ہے. یہاں گناہ کرنا اور وہاں گناہ کرنا زمین آسمان کا فرق ہے. اگر آپ ایک گناہ یہاں کرو گے تو آپ کو ایک گناہ کا گناہ ملے گا، جزا ملے گی، لیکن وہاں ایک گناہ کرو گے 1,00,000 گناہ کرنے کا عذاب ملے گا آپ کو. تو پہلے تو بات یہ کہ اپنے آپ کو یہ ابھی سے عادت چھوڑ دے کہ نہیں مجھے گناہ نہیں کرنا ہے، بس اللہ نے بلایا وہاں جا کر میں خوب عبادت کے اندر دل لگاؤں گا. ابن عباس جو فرماتے ہیں ایک نو عمر بچہ اللہ کے نبی صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کے ساتھ تھے عرفات کے میدان میں. وہ نو عمر بچہ لوگوں کو دیکھ رہا تھا، عورتوں کو دیکھ رہا تھا، حالانکہ چھوٹا بچہ تھا. تو اللہ کے نبی نے یہ فرمایا بھتیجے کہ آج کا دن ایسا ہے کہ آج کان اور آنکھ کی حفاظت کر لیں. جو شخص عرفات کے میدان کے اندر اپنے کان کی اپنی آنکھوں کی حفاظت کر لیتا ہے اللہ سبحانہ و تعالی اس کی مغفرت فرما دیتے ہیں. تو یہ بد نظری دوران طواف، یہ بد نظری ایسی بیماری ہے میرے بھائیوں، سب اس کے اندر مبتلا ہے. تو ایسے گناہ سے اللہ سے توبہ کرے کہ اللہ تیرا گھر کا دیدار کر رہا ہوں، طواف کر رہا ہوں اور مجھ سے بد نظری ہو جائے، میری حفاظت کر لینا. تو گناہوں سے بچنا اور اپنے آپ کو ریڈی کرنا، اللہ کا شکر ادا کرنا اور کعبۃ اللہ کو دیکھ کر سب کے لیے دعائیں کرنا. انسان ابھی سے پریکٹس کرے گا تبھی آئے گا. اور یہ نہ سمجھو کہ میں نے سب کچھ آتا ہے. وہاں ہم نے ایسے لوگوں کو دیکھا ہے کہ کتاب لکھنے والے بھی بھول کرتے ہیں. اور سب سے بڑی بات میں آپ کو بتاؤں، یوٹیوب کے اوپر سب مولانا کے بیان چھوڑ دو. آج آپ یہاں سیکھنے آئے ہیں تو آج کا جو ہمارا درس ہوگا وہ درس کو لکھ لو، کسی دوسرے کا نہ سنو. اگر آپ معتقد ہو کسی کے انہیں یہ صحیح ہے ان کی باتیں تو ان کی باتیں سنو، ورنہ ہزاروں لوگ ہزاروں اسکالر یوٹیوب کے اوپر آتے ہیں. سلفی بھی آتے ہیں، غیر مقلد بھی آتے ہیں، شوافی بھی آتے، سب آتے ہیں. کہیں ایسا نہ ہو کہ آپ ان کی بات سنو گے، یہاں سنو گے تو آپ کنفیوز ہو جاؤ گے. یہ فلانا مولانا تو یہ کہہ رہا ہے اور یہ فلانا مولانا تو یہ کہہ رہا ہے، کنکریاں کب بننی چاہیے. یہ ان کا مسئلہ کون ہے، ہمارا مسئلہ کون ہے. آپ جس کو بھی فالو کرتے ہو ان کے مسئلوں کو صحیح پڑھ کر جاؤ، لکھ کے جاؤ کہ اگر مجھ سے خدا نہ خواستہ غلطی ہو گئی احرام کے حالت میں کیا کروں. ایسا نہ کرو وہاں جا کر کہ اللہ غفور رحیم ہے معاف کر دے گا. میرے بھائیو، اللہ نے قانون بنائے ہیں کہ احرام کی حالت کے اندر خوشبو لگا دینا، احرام کی حالت کے اندر داڑھی کے بال توڑ دینا، سر کے بال توڑ دینا، اس کی کیا جزا ہے، کیا سزا ہے، کیا دم لگے گا، یہ سب کچھ سیکھنا پڑے گا. تو انشاءاللہ اس طرح ہم جائیں گے تو اللہ تعالیٰ ہمیں وہ حج نصیب کرے گا. میرے نبی نے فرمایا کہ جس حج کے اندر نہ گناہ ہو نہ بیکار باتیں ہو تو وہ حج مبرور ہے. وہ ایسا حج ہے کہ اس کا بدلہ یہی ہے کہ جنت کے سوا اس کا کوئی بدلہ نہیں ہے. اور فضیلت تو یہ بتائی اللہ کے نبی نے کہ جو لوگ حج کے لیے جاتے ہیں وہ ایسے واپس آتے ہیں کہ جس دن ماں کے پیٹ سے باہر نکلے تھے، بغیر بالکل گناہوں سے پاک صاف ہو کر آتے ہیں. اور نہ کرنے کو میرے نبی نے وہی فرمائی کہ جس کو اللہ نے مال دیا وہ حج کے لیے نہ جائے، اس کو چاہیے کہ یہودی ہو کر مرے یا نصرانی ہو کر مرے. اللہ سبحانہ و تعالیٰ، آپ تو ضیوف الرحمان ہیں، آپ تو ضیوف الرحمان ہیں، اللہ کے مہمان ہیں. آپ لوگوں سے بھی گزارش ہے کہ ہم سب کے لیے دعائیں کریں اور مسلمانوں کے اوپر جو حالات ہے اس کے لیے دعائیں کریں. آپ کی دعائیں قبول ہوتی ہے طواف کے درمیان، صحیح کے درمیان، جہاں کون سی جگہ ایسے جہاں دعا قبول نہیں ہوتی. آپ لوگوں سے دل سے گزارش بھی ہے کہ آپ دعا بھی کریں، اللہ تعالیٰ آپ کا جانا قبول فرمائے. اللہ سبحانہ و تعالیٰ سب کو حج مقبول اور مبرور نصیب فرمائے. لڑائی جھگڑوں سے، فتنوں سے، بیکار باتوں سے اللہ ہماری اور پوری امت کی حفاظت فرمائے. اللہ ہمیں کہنے سننے سے زیادہ عمل کی توفیق عطا فرمائے. مفتی صاحب. السلام علیکم. ماشاءاللہ مولانا رشید صاحب going to be late. Mawlana Mufti Saab is here again. Soon as Hakim will be here, so there's about 4 or 5 of us who will be going through the Hajj guide inshallah. And Mawlana has asked me to just carry on until he comes inshallah. So what we're going to do, brothers, from here, from home, how to prepare ourselves, and coming back to home, how to prepare ourselves. Whatever we tell you now from here, you might say, oh, why do we need this, why do we need this? But as we're going along in the program, inshallah, you will understand what we giving you the guidance and why
what's the reason to take from here. First of all, those brothers who's never been Makkah, Medina, please put your hands up. 1, 2, 3. Mashallah. So the rest of you been for Hajj and Umrah at least. Alhamdulillah. Anybody here who doesn't understand English at all? Everybody understands English, mashallah, so that's good. We don't have to translate in Urdu this time, so we can move fast. Now, from here, brothers, when you prepare yourself, you've got your visa first of all. Okay? So we advise people, obviously, a lot of it's entirely up to you. Whatever you prefer, you do it yourself. But we've had youngsters coming back to us and say, Fazal uncle, Jazakallah, you told us to take paper photocopies, and it helped us tremendously with the paper photocopies. You can take a copy on your mobile phone, but if your internet is not working, or you drop your phone, your screen breaks, or you've got no, your battery is dead, then what are you going to do? Yeah? So we advise people from here, first of all, check your passport. Your passport must be valid at least 6 months before you are coming back from Makkah or Medina. Those brothers who's not got British passport, who's got Indian passport, Bangladesh, Pakistani or any other passport, they must take their old passport. If they renewed the passport, take your old passport with you with your permanent visa on it. Yes? One of my friends who lives near Senegal School, just recently, he's got a British passport, his wife got an Indian passport. They renewed the Indian passport and forgot to take the permanent visa stamp old passport from here. So from Mumbai airport, they wouldn't let her wife come back to Britain. They said, where is your visa? You've got your no visa. They had to stay in Mumbai for 5 days, and they informed somebody from here and said, please can you send our whole passport with somebody. So then she come back. So remember all those brothers got the British passport, please. Yeah. Now take 3 copies of your passport, 3 copies of your visa, 3 copies of your visa. You don't need your photographs, but just in case, each person take at least 2 to 3 photographs. And from here, in your hand luggage, yeah, put everything in your hand luggage. And your mobile phone, your charges, anybody who's got diabetes or uh, blood pressure, so whatever the regular medicine you are taking, inform your doctor from now on the period you are going for, so at least you've got enough medicine from here when you come, while you are staying in Makkah and Medina. Now, those brothers, obviously, who are going with the group people, then obviously you will have your kurbani with it. If you haven't got your kurbani, then make sure you take enough money for each person for your kurbani as well from here. Also, you know yourself what sort of shopping you want to do, whether you're going to buy 20 kilos kazur or you're going to buy 10 kilos, that's entirely up to you. So you make sure you take enough money. We advise people from here to take at least 2 to 300 pounds extra each person. So as Mawlana said, if you do something wrong and you have to pay dam. What is dam? Dam is a penalty. So while you are in your ihram and you've done something wrong, then you have to pay a penalty. It depends, inshallah, Mufti Saab or Mufti Saab will explain to you as we go along. Yeah. Now, from here we prepare ourselves. In your hand luggage, you put your 1 set of ihram, 2 to 3 pairs of clothes in your hand luggage, 1 pair of slippers, the 2 slippers. Yes. Okay. And also you take your miswak with you in your money belt. Put some money in your money belt as well, so you're not struggling when you put your ihram. 2 empty carrier bags and 1 or 2 black bin bags if you want to put it in your hand luggage. And then take Vaseline with you as well. And also, what you do is from here, yeah, is make sure you take your money, what you need, put it in your hand luggage. Now your hand luggage stays with you, even whether you are traveling the coaches or wherever you're traveling from, it stays with you. Do not put it in the boot in the coach at the airport as well. One brother, he put all his luggage in the back, including his passport, his money, and everything. And then what happened was the coach was full. So those 5, 6 brothers, they were standing in the coach, and the government said, "Sorry, you cannot stand up in the coaches. Can you go into the next coach?" So the first coach went off with his luggage, and nobody took his luggage out. So his money, his clothes, everything was gone. So it's entirely up to you to look after your clothes. Another thing, a man will pack his own clothes, his own items, whatever he needs. The ladies will pack their own. Because we have seen people arguing, husband and wife, where's this Maria was to say, Anaki, Perunaki, they argue at the airport with the wife. This is my personal experience, what I've seen people from Bolton. So everybody park their own from here, so there's no problems afterwards. Alhamdulillah. Does everybody understand, or am I going too fast? Yes? Now, Alhamdulillah, Labbaik, you all got your Labbaik. Most of you has been, there's only 2 or 3 brothers who's not been. Labbaik, you have to learn Labbaik. Now, when you are doing Umrah, there are 2 firsts for Umrah. One is to put on your Ihraam. Secondly, you do intention, niyyah. And thirdly, you play labbaik 3 times on your right hand shoulder. So these 3 put together, yeah, is your one faraz. And the second faraz is doing tawaf 7 circuits round the Baitullah. And then there are 2 wajibat. One wajib is to do Safa Marwa Sa'i, and the second wajib is to do the khalaq. Yes. So these are the 2 wajibat. It has to be done systematically. Yes. You can't do your halak first and do your Safa Marwa. You've got to do your Safa Marwa first and then do your halak. Those ladies, obviously, who are in the monthly period, what they will do their wudu, make their intention, sit down towards Qibla, and make intention for Umrah. Those brothers, another thing I forgot to mention, brothers, during the current situation regarding the Iran and America war, please do not put on your ihram. If you put on your ihram, you put it at the airport 1.5 to 2 hours before you are given your boarding pass. And don't make your intention. Don't do your intention for your Umrah until you are 100% sure that your flight is on time and it is going to be boarding on time as well. Okay? I'll tell you my experience recently. I was going India, so I got an email saying instead of 6:25, 10:25 in the morning, your flight will be at 7 o'clock. Then they said it's going to be at 8 o'clock. This was at the we went to the airport for 8 o'clock. Then they said, sorry, your flight is going to be 10:30. So we had to wait. And then we had to wait 18 hours at Bahrain airport as well. So brothers, do not put on your ihram until you know that your flight is going to be on time. Obviously, it will tell you on the TV there, all the information is there with your flights and everything. So make sure, because if only puts it on and your flight is going to be late, sometimes now the flights are cancelled as well. So if your flight is cancelled, you've done your Amniyat, then you have to do your halak here, yes, and then you'll be out of ihram. But if there's a penalty, or inshallah, Mufti Saab will explain that to you as well. Now, so Alhamdulillah, we'll be going from here, whichever the airport we are going from, whether you're going direct from Manchester or direct from London, or if you are going from any airport via from the Middle East airport or from Europe, obviously we put on our luggage is with us. What I normally do, I do my wudu first before I put on my ihram. Because go to the toilet, the 2 carrier bags you've got, you put your clothes on in one carrier bag, you put your shoes in the other carrier bag, you got it, yes, and then what you do, once you've done your wudu, you go obviously put on your ihram in the toilet, make sure it's nice and dry, nice and clean, and then you put both your pieces of your ihram on, alhamdulillah. When you put on your ihram, then I'm going to show you how to put on your ihram. Now, one brother was just asking me coming up, which is the best ihram. It's entirely up to you. If you want to, I prefer a toweling ihram. Some brothers put on a lungi ihram as well. Yes, and some brothers they just put 2 pieces of cotton ihram, just cotton, which is very thin time. So it's entirely up to you. Another thing, if you are going to buy an ihram from here, don't wash it, try it first. Make sure it's the adult ihram. Because we had one brother years ago, 1 week before Hajj was going, he said, Fazlbhai, can you come to my house? I said, why? He said, my ihram is too small. So I said, Uncle, your ihram must have given you a children ihram by mistake. So go and change it and get an adult ihram. But if you washed it, yes, then what's going to happen? It doesn't fit you, yes, there's going to be a problem, they won't take it back. So before you, when you buy your ihram, you try it. We're going to show you how to put on your ihram, inshallah. Yes. Now I normally put on the towel ihram, so I'll show you how I put on the towel ihram. There are 2 or 3 ways, you can put on your ihram. But those brothers who don't know the labbaik, please memorize it, and including the sisters as well. in your money belt, yeah, put pen, money, maybe 20, 30, 50 pounds, whatever you want to put in, your miswak, especially miswak as well, and put 3 small pieces of plasters, because you'll be walking in slippers, and if you just scrape your feet or something, you start bleeding, you're obviously going to need the plaster. And Vaseline, you can put Vaseline on before Ihram or even after you've done your niyat for Ihram. So at least you don't get any skin rash when you're doing your tawaf in the hot weather. आगे नहीं हो हजरत मुफ्ती साहब सोहेल आगे नहीं है प्लीज yeah. Normally, like I said, you can wear your own lungi ihram. The way I'm going to do it with the tawali ihram, there's 2 or 3 ways you can do it. Okay. Make sure you spread your legs. Because if you haven't spread your legs, what's going to happen? The ihram is too close, you'll be walking like this. Yeah? Now, you can actually take 2 pieces together if you want, fold it, and then roll it up. Or you can actually tie a knot and then roll it up. The way I do it slightly different. Quarter on this side, but make sure if you're left or right, that's up to you, whichever the leg you want to put it on. Make sure this piece goes on top. This piece goes on top. If it doesn't, you leave it here, and if your ihram goes loose, it's going to come off and you're going to be exposed. Yes? So put this here, hold this very tight, like this. And then put your hand here. One fold, every fold you go up, whichever the way you're doing it, whether you're tying a knot or you're doing it from the 2 pieces together, make sure you're taking it up at least 1 or 2 inches every fold and hold it tight. The reason is that if you look at the bottom, the ihram is nice and level. If you don't take it 1 or 2 inches above every fold, what's going to happen is going to drag on the floor. When you go in the toilet, if the toilet is wet, you don't know whether it's park or not park, then it's going to get wet, yes? So you're going to have that conscious that, is it right or not right? So be careful from when you put your ihram on. And every fold you put on is going to go tighter and tighter. Sure, if I remind you if I forget it here. Mawlana, hands up. You got the money belt now. The money belt, this is what I normally do, because once the pickpocket tried it while I was pelting the stone. Yeah? So what I learned from there, that you can cut your money belt as well. Okay? Now, you hide your belt from the back and just keep on rolling. Yes? Keep on rolling. Now, when you go to Makkah, put all your valuables, lock it up in your suitcase, everything. Don't take too much money when you go into Haram. Yeah? I know one brother from Hariwell Road, he was doing a Nafil Tawaf, he had 400 pounds in his top pocket, and it was gone. One brother in Medina, he had his purse, right, in his right hand side pocket in the Jabba, and somebody took it out. He had 800 pounds in it. So do not take any money when you go into Haram of Makkah and Medina. If you want to go shopping, you go first, check out what you need, and then take money with you the following day or same night, and then buy whatever you need to buy. But do not carry a lot of money, brothers.
This is a Monzo generation.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes. Okay. Right. So, how much was Qurbani last year? Bakra and
165 last year. 165 last year. It's 150 this year.
Pounds.
Yeah, because our exchange rate is better.
It's better, yes. Yeah. So approximately take 150 to 175 pounds per person for Qurbani.
Everybody's Qurbani has been done before.
Is he included this time?
Everybody's Qurbani is already done.
Oh, good, mashallah. Okay. But don't forget to do your Qurbani, what we do here every year, where we do it in Pakistan, India, wherever, you got to do that as well. Now, alhamdulillah, the second piece, the top piece, obviously you all have a loose piece, not the lungi type or anyone, the top piece, yeah? Again, quarter piece, take it down, put one corner here, yes? What I normally do, I normally take my topi off as well when I'm putting my ihram on. Now, this was very important, this side. right, okay. Yeah, inshallah. But did I have a little more? Yeah. Oh. Right. So what you do, brothers, this top piece, don't loosen it like this. Yeah. Make sure it's nice and straight on your arm. Yeah. So then when you putting it on, it'll be nice and straight. I'm going to show you. So what you do, grab hold of this corner at the back, the corner, and throw it at the back. Yes. And then all you do, you just tuck it in your back like this. So as you can see, your body is fully covered. Yes. Now, when you're in the flight, yes, don't try to put your luggage, especially if you've got your own ladies or the ladies, because all these parts are going to show. Let somebody else do it who's not got their ihram, or let the air hostesses put your luggage on the. Now, when you're in the, you've done your niyyat, as I mentioned, yes, what you do, you do your, if you've got time, do not pray a 2 rakat nafil namaz between Asr and Maghrib or between Fajr and Isra time. If you got time and you want to pray a 2 rakat nafil namaz, you don't have to say I'm praying for 2 Umrah or whatever. Just say I'm praying 2 rakat nafil namaz, and then in first rakat Qul and Kafirun, second rakat Qul Huwallahu Ahad, then you get at-tahiyat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Straight away, if you got your topi on or your ihram on your head, take it off. And then, Ya Allah, I'm making intention to perform Umrah, make it easy for me and accept it for me. Ya Allah, मैं उम्रे का ihram की नियत करता हूँ या करती हूँ, मेरे लिए आसान फरमा, कबूल फरमा. And then you look on your shoulder, 3 times, what you do, you play Labbaik, Labbaik, Allahumma Labbaik, Labbaik, La Sharika Laka Labbaik, Inna al-Hamda, Wan Ni'mata, Laka wal Mulk, La Sharika Laka. You pray that 3 times, now you are fully in Ihram. Now, there are terms and conditions for Ihram. If husband and wife, those terms and conditions and restrictions, what we have during the month of Ramadan is exactly the same. You cannot even look at your wife or your husband with lustful eyes. Yes? While it's in ihram. No toothpaste, no attar, not pulling your hair or not shaving your hair, not cutting your nails, nothing like that. And also in some flights, they give you a steam towel. Yeah? So don't take the steam towel because obviously that's scented and it's got khushbu in it as well. You can't eat kachi, elaichi and things like that. Now, as Mawlana Idris Saab mentioned earlier on, when you go to Haram, you will see a lot of people. I've just been told recently that there are people with ihram and they're putting their shoes on, and inside Haram, they're actually doing tawaf with shoes on. We are not, it's masjid by, it's masjid. So, we are teaching here according to Hanfi Masla. So, the 2 slippers we've got, obviously the second empty bag you've got, you take it with you in Haram. Wherever you go, take it with you. If you got your backpack, if you want to put it in your backpack, it's entirely up to you. Another thing, inshallah, you're going to Jeddah airport. From Jeddah airport, they will take you direct to your hotel. Yes, and they will give you a lanyard. Okay, and you've got your 3 copies of your visa. So keep 2 in your hand luggage. The 1 copy visa you have 24/7, whether you're in Makkah, whether you're in Medina. इंशाल्लाह जिद्दा से हम जाएंगे अपनी होटल में जाएंगे तो वहाँ अपना सामान रख देंगे. सामान रख कर जो है हम क्या करेंगे कि वहाँ इनसे हमारी जो वीज़ा की कॉपी है वो हमारे साथ 24 घंटे मक्का या मदीना में रखेंगे. जो पहले मदीना जाएंगे तो इंशाल्लाह मदीना का भी बाद में बताएंगे मदीना. लेकिन जो पहले मक्का जाएंगे तो वो क्या करेंगे कि अपनी जो वीज़ा की कॉपी है उसके साथ आपका एड्रेस होटल का भी स्टेपलर से लगा दें, ताकि अगर आप वहाँ खो जाएं तो आपको पता चले कि किसी को भी बता दो कि दिस इज माय होटल एड्रेस कार्ड, मैं मुझे कहाँ जाना है. एनी ब्रदर्स, या व्हेन यू गो टू योर होटल or with your visa paper, keep your hotel address card. So if you get lost, then at least somebody will show you which way to go. Now don't forget, there are over 100 doors in Haram. Now I've been told recently by some of the brothers who just been, he says, Fazal bhai, they don't let you go through some of the doors or let you come out through some of the doors. For Umrah and for other people, there are certain entrances only, and from that entrance you have to go, and then from a different entrance you have to come out. Yes? So be careful which entrance you are going in from and which entrance you are coming out from. Okay? Do not take money from you. Inshallah, we pray Labbaik as much as possible, and then from here, inshallah, Mawlana Rashid Saab will take you in Haram from here, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're going to whiz through this, inshallah. Firstly, if you don't mind me asking, have you all secured your packages? Is there anybody still in the limbo? I'm in the same boat. Right. Banana boats become a bit more. Let's not go into it anymore. Yeah, so may Allah make it easy for everybody. Make dua for me that I can come and join you as well, inshallah. So, other than us two or three, everybody knows their packages, what date, when you go into Makkah and when you go into Medina. Yeah? So, some of you might be going straight to Medina. Some of you might be going straight to Makkah. You should all know this by now. Is there anybody who's not sure? If you're not sure, then whoever you book your package with, just ask them. Because your Umrah, you will plan accordingly. So I just basically mentioned, if you're going from here to Medina, then you don't need to worry about your Ihraam and your Umrah. You go to Medina, you stay in Medina, and then when you go in from Medina to Makkah, you will put on your Ihraam before you leave Medina. And you will make the niyyat there. And mostly it's tamattu, but we'll come to that. The three types of Hajj. Yeah? Some of you might be going from here straight to Makkah, so then you'll be putting your Ihraam maybe from here, or maybe from a higher destination. So you might go to Egypt, might put on your Ihram from Egypt, or Jordan, or Dubai. Does this still exist, Dubai? Or any of these locations. Yes? You've got to, prior to your trip, understand your itinerary and plan accordingly. Is that clear? We're going to run through this presentation, and that will give us a bit of structure, and hopefully we can finish the presentation quickly and try and wrap it up, inshallah. Aim for 4, we might go to the 5th day as well. You've already got your niyyat, inshallah, and you've been told about preparation, what you need, etc., etc. And I'm sure most of you have so many groups that you will get flooded with a list. Yeah, lists, etc. will be put, what you need, what not, etc. So there are 3 types of Hajj. Some of you might hear this for the first time in your life. If you want to take notes, you can. If there's anything that I'm saying and you don't understand, you can ask. If something you feel shy or people will say, I don't even know that, then you can ask before Maghrib or after Maghrib when we have some time to ourselves, or even after the program. There are 3 types of Hajj. One is Tamattu, which is the most common one, then Qiran, and then Ifrad. Don't worry too much about these terms. The most common one, Tamattu, technically means benefiting, doing just one trip and doing Umrah and Hajj both. The word Tamattu means benefit, but don't worry too much about the technical terms. Tamattu is the one which is most common. I'd say 90%, 95% British Hajjis do Tamattu. Tamattu is you put on one Ihram, you finish your Umrah, and then you take off the Ihram, and then you're back to normal. Yeah? And then, in the days of Hajj, you put on the Ihram for Hajj. Basically, that's Tamattu. The second one is Qiran. Qiran technically means to join. Qiran means you put on one Ihram. With that one Ihram, you do your Umrah. You do not take your Ihram. With the same Ihram, you stay in the state of Ihram, you go for Hajj. Obviously, it's more difficult. Long Ihram, you don't have a break in between. And all the restrictions of Ihram apply. Now, maybe majority here are Hanafis according to the Hanafi school of thought. Iran is better. According to many other school of thought, tamattu is better. If you ask me personally at the moment, you do what's easy for you, what works for you. Don't worry too much about what's the best and what's more rewarding. Inshallah, you will be rewarded according to your intention and what's in your heart. But you will plan it according to your travel itinerary. And Quran will only be possible if you land in Mecca 1 or maybe 2 days before Hajj. But if you go to Mecca, then going to Medina, and then coming for Hajj, it won't be possible. If you go into Medina and then go into Mecca and stay in Mecca for 5, 6, 7, 8 days, we would not advise that you do Quran. You understand? Because Quran is difficult. So if you reach Mecca just before Hajj, then people do Quran. Yeah?
There are a couple of 10, 11-day packages that will actually be arriving on.
Yeah. Does anybody know if they are arriving on the day of Hajj in Mecca? Is there anybody like, say, 7th and 8th Dhul Hijjah? You might not even know at the moment. Some of you do.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. If you're not,
Huh? There's a few 10, 11-day packages. There are a couple of brothers. Just put your hands up.
yeah, 10, 11-day packages.
Around Medina first for 3 days and then straight to Mecca.
Yeah.
else, I'll explain to him about Ihraam.
As if they might not even be able to do Quran, it might just go straight into the Quran for some of them.
Anyone else that's in that course, I'll explain.
So Quran is the most difficult one. The easiest is Ifrad. Ifrad third, which means one. Ifrad is where you do Hajj only. You don't do Umrah. Obviously, doing one rather than two is practically easier. Is that clear? Now, like somebody just mentioned, Asif also here, you might, some of you are going to Medina first, and on the night of Hajj, you might reach Mecca. And remember, all those Hajjis from the Gulf area, etc., they also land on that very same night. They might be doing Tamattu, Quran, etc., and it gets very busy in Mecca to do your Tawaf or even to do your Umrah. In such case, Ifrad might be the best option. In some cases, Ifrad will be the only option. Where you might just be in Mecca for a few hours and then straight into Mina. Now, in Tamattu and Quran, because you've done two, you've done one, buy one, get one free. So basically, you've benefited extra, you've done extra ibadat as well. You have to sacrifice a sacrifice qurbani for Hajj in the Hajj, which we were just recently talking about. And so has everybody purchased their qurbanis?
90%.
Yeah, 90% you've done your qurbani, you purchased it with your package. And they will, the government organization, the Hajj ministry, etc., they will do your qurbani. Yeah? In Ifrad, when you're doing Hajj only, you don't have to do qurbani. Yeah? And maybe further along, we will talk more about the Hajj qurbani and our normal qurbani later.
So Mawlana
Is that clear? If anybody has any questions, don't worry too much about the technical names and terms, you'll get used to that. But you have to, before we leave today, have a rough idea, and by tomorrow, after consulting your service provider, your organizer, group, etc., have a good idea, firm idea, how you're going to do.
Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu rasulullah. Brothers, very, very important this. Absolutely important, because we saw last year and the year before those brothers who are on the short packages arriving into Mecca from Medina, especially if there's any delays or any restrictions, it's going to cause an issue for you. We'd rather be very, very blatantly honest and blunt right now, rather than you get to that point and think, what am I to do now? The reason I'm very, very particular about this is because I've been sitting in a lot of the webinars, every single package for so many different providers. And I know that there are quite a number, and I recognize a lot of your faces as well, because I've got all your passports. The point is, a lot of you are going to be coming to Makkah on the cusp of Hajj. Now, there's so many key elements to consider over here. One is the fact that you need to confirm which niyyah you're doing. So, Qurbani is one of them, because the Ifrad doesn't require Qurbani, but the other two will require the Hadi, Qurbani. Also, you have elements, the fact that you've got very short amount of time before Hajj takes place, and you're going to be very, very tired as well. You're going to be fatigued, especially those who are on the shorter packages. So you've got to consider how the Hajj is going to play out for you. Now, what's also going to happen is you're going to be in packages which are going to have multiple different madahib, okay? And they'll be talking about something which you won't be understanding quite correctly, because they're talking along a madahib which will allow or permit them to do something in a certain way. So do you now understand that there are so many crossroads all of a sudden with the madahib, with the package, with what you're thinking and what everybody else is talking about? Now the thing is, every single pilgrim, every single Hujjaj will have a idea in their mind, but they'll talk to somebody else, and like that they'll switch. Why am I saying this? Because we get asked this question literally the night before Hajj. Somebody's asking me, so which niyyah am I doing? They've already left. They've already left Medina and they're on their way to Makkah, and they are now asking, which niyyah am I doing? It's like, you're not doing your niyyah because you passed Dhul Hulayfa. This is reality now. And the reason why we're talking about this, because this program you're here joining is a universal Hajj program, not package specific Hajj program. So we'd rather make this point now, so over the next 5 days it gives you an idea to think about what I just said. Go over this webinar when you get home and listen to it again and think about what we just said, and tomorrow come back and ask us, do you know what, you were right, my package is like this, I'm going to be doing Hajj like this, so what would be your advice? And by the time we get to Thursday, we will have ironed out any doubt, any concern, or any sort of feeling of, I'm not too sure what I'm going to be doing. It's the first day. You've all just secured your packages. You've all got your own webinars, and you're all still preparing. So take this week to ask any questions, we'll answer them for you. But this intention, the one on your intention of Hajj, is very, very important for all of you. Majority will be doing Tamattu. Some of you want to do Qiran. Some of you will have no choice but to do Ifrad. And we'll talk about those, and just bear that in mind, inshallah. Exactly.
Are we all now clear about the 3 types of Hajj? Some of you might already have an idea which one you want to go for. Yeah? And yes.
Also, just to ask about your questions, probably cover later. For the females and the menses, obviously they'll get in there and they've got to first, but they can't. The husband's done it. They wait. Then when
So when you said the husband's done Tamattu, meaning that,
for example, he's arrived, say, on the Monday, Tuesday.
yeah.
Hajj starts the week after.
Yeah. So, and the husband has done his Umrah only.
Umrah,
Yeah.
sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the females can't.
Yeah.
Can't. And then at which point do they then join in, for example, if it's on that time, do they go for the Ifrad? How does that?
No, so you have, even the females, you've got to make your intention of what you're going to do. Yeah? And if it's a female where you're going, you've got a few days in Makkah and you're not sure about your period, etc., then just go for what you're sure about and just go for Ifrad. Both husband and wife don't have to do the same. Husband can do, say for example, Tamattu, and if the sister is, say for example, on her period, or she thinks that she's going to start her period, etc., if she's definitely sure that she'll be able to do her Umrah and take off the Ihraam, only then should she make the intention of Tamattu. Yeah? If, for example, if shouldn't, you should be sure and plan accordingly and give yourself a few days here and there. If for some reason the sister makes the intention of Tamattu, unexpectedly, before doing the Umrah, she starts her period, she can carry on even if it's Hajj, do Hajj and then do the Umrah. Yeah? And those sisters who were there weekend in Multi-Muslim Girls' School, this was covered in Multi-Muslim Girls' School. Yeah? A bit late, but if any sisters think that they could be starting in the days of Hajj, etc., then normally you plan your Hajj accordingly, but it's a bit late for that. But any questions regarding these 2 types of Hajj? Are we okay to move on? Right. The presentation, inshallah, will be available. Daily slide for the daily program, and then the whole presentation maybe at the end.
Send the whole presentation.
It's sent. Yeah, it depends on how much you pay. Yeah. I think Fazal has been through a list of what you need, etc. And this will be put on the groups. I'm going to skip all this. Yeah. What you have to understand is there's a certain point where you have to be in Ihraam. Just a reminder, if you're going to put on your Ihraam at the airport here or any via destination, don't send your Ihraam into your whole luggage. Keep it with you. Yes? If you go to Medina, then just on the outskirts of Medina, there's a place called Dhul Hulayfa, Masjid Ali, Bir Ali. You have to be in Ihram before you cross that path. It's just on the outskirts of Medina. If you travel by train, it's approximately 2 minutes after the train takes off. They do normally announce it, but it's better you have your Ihram on before the train takes off because it's only 2 minutes away in the train. From train station to Dhul Hulayfa. This is a map of all the different Meeqaat. It's called Meeqaat, the technical term. You have to be in Ihram before you cross this path. And that's basically, we've got the holiest of the Holy Kaaba. Then we've got Masjid al-Haram. Yeah? And then we've got the Haram of Makkah and the Hajj sites. And then we've got a larger Haram, and this is this large area. It's a bit like, can anybody in the world, say for example, worldly king, yeah, say in London, can anybody go and meet the king? No. There are certain restrictions to come to England. Some people can't. There's a bigger boundary. Yeah. And then, once you're in England, everybody can go to London, Buckingham Palace, but some people, individuals can only go into Buckingham Palace. Some might even be able to make it right to the king himself, etc. If this is the state of worldly palaces, rulers, kings, etc., then this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you go to the house of Allah, there's the Kaaba, the holiest of the holy. Not everybody can enter there. And then the Masjid al-Haram, yeah, certain restrictions, certain reasons you cannot even enter that masjid if you're on your periods, etc. Then there's the Haram of Makkah, and then there's a larger Haram. There's different rulings of that Haram. I won't go into the details, but before you enter here, you need. Oh, so time is done for Maghrib.
Just give me a minute.
Yeah, we still got a minute. Just make sure Imam Saab makes intention. Yeah, the Imam Saab will make intention for the sisters to follow the Jamaat. So sisters, you can pray behind the Imam. Yeah. Usually in a Puji mosque. Yeah, you can pray behind the Imam, inshallah, upstairs. So basically, when we go to meet Allah, the house of Allah, this is the special uniform that brings about the sense of traveling to Allah. It's like the kafan, forgetting ourselves, forgetting our status, etc., etc. Yeah? And then you've got a plan. Where are you going to put on your ihram accordingly? We'll conclude here, we'll carry on after the last. Any questions you can ask before that?
Questions very important, brothers. Questions, fire away. That's the only way you'll know what's going on.
Make sure you have Khajur Pani here, and then we'll come to your houses for the from tomorrow, if we forget to remind you, did you give them labbaik?
Yes. Yes. Adam,
From tomorrow, just got 24 hours to learn your labbaik. Randomly,
then everybody got 7 feet to speed.
randomly, we'll just select anybody to stand up and read their labbaik. Yeah?
Mawlana, I forgot to mention one thing. When you're in Ihraam, no underwear, nothing. Just 2 pieces of cloth. Okay? So remember these brothers.
One more question. During the talk, we need to send the.
Yes, we're going to come back to now. Yes,
So come to it now.
Inshallah.
Shall we start? So when the program was announced, advertised, it was an advertised program in English. Now some people have said, I'm going to Gujarati do it. That means we want Gujarati. Some people said Urdu, or we cannot accommodate different languages. Maybe we'll have very brief Urdu little bit, yeah? But if you want it in Gujarati, I have to be in the camera. If you want it in Gujarati, I know last year for Zilbag you did 1 day Gujarati. 2 days.
1 day, sorry, 1 day.
1 day. Can you do that again?
Yeah, inshallah.
If you want it in Gujarati, Fazal Bhai did a Gujarati Hajj 1 day after the program. We'll try and do little bit Urdu. If it's not enough, थोड़ा थोड़ा उर्दू में करेंगे, गुजराती में नहीं कर सकते इसलिए कि गुजराती कोई आलमी ज़बान नहीं है, उर्दू और इंग्लिश मेनली ना. लेकिन अगर इनफ उर्दू अगर हमने आपके सामने वजाहत नहीं की उर्दू में और आपको जरूरत है तो फिर एक दिन सिर्फ उर्दू का रखेंगे आइंदा हफ्ते. ठीक है? एक दिन या मे बी सैटरडे संडे या फिर एक दो शाम को, एक दो आइंदा हफ्ते शाम को असल से ईशा अगर तकाजा हो, जरूरत हो तो फिर फायदे से पहले हम तय कर लेंगे. Sisters, you're okay with that, inshallah? So we will have उर्दू में भी रखेंगे, लेकिन हो सकता है कि मुस्तकिल किसी और दिन, और हो सकता है कि अगर टाइम वगैरह हो तो खुलासा रोजाना दे देंगे उर्दू के अंदर. Everybody, make sure you get your ihram. माँ बहनों के लिए ihram की जरूरत नहीं. Sisters, you don't need ihram. It's going to be your normal clothing. Can I just ask? Who's been for Umrah? Or rather, who's not been for Umrah? Just only 2-3 of them. All right, then we should have called you 1 day earlier and taught you Umrah. Anyway, we'll go. Sorry. And then apa sih? Oh, camera. Oh, right. All right, so what we'll do, we'll go over Umrah, but we'll go a bit faster than normal. If you're not sure, we can do 1 session, or 1 day you can come early if you agree. We can go over Umrah again. With regards to Umrah, you've got to make sure you know where you're going to put your ihram on. Some of you might, if you've got a direct flight from, say, Manchester to Jeddah, if something exists, then you might put it on in Manchester. Some of you might be going via, put it on there. Some of you might be going to Medina, you'll be putting it on from Medina. Once again, make sure you know where you're going to put on your ihram. This is ihram, 2 sheets, normal slippers, yeah, slippers that are plain and simple, yeah, and then normally what do you get to wear? Crocs. Yeah, so he'll put it on the group. These are the experienced walkers. They'll put it on the group. Try and get the best. Yeah, and some expensive ones because a lot depends in how it's walking. You don't want blisters, etc. Make sure you've got comfortable footwear. Yeah. These are the type of footwear that's. Do we have the laser? They normally call it dopati. You know what they call it? Flip-flops. I would not recommend flip-flops. Yeah, they're very, especially British boys. we can't bear display of the toes, etc. Yeah. So get good, comfortable footwear. Is the reason. Yeah. Now, this bone, this is called the tarsal boss. This bone here, this raised bone has to be exposed, has to be open. Now, in slippers like this strap will cover that bone, so this is not permissible. You can get slippers where the strap is further higher up, and this bone is exposed. This bone has to be exposed. Sisters, you don't have to worry. Sisters, you can wear anything. Your socks are normal shoes. It's just for the males. This has to be exposed. Now, this is the slippers or flip-flops, not comfortable at all. But you can get Crocs, etc., which are more better, comfortable, suitable, inshallah, and bearable. Yeah? These are some other examples. Look, another sample here, an example. All this is open, so that would be permissible. Here, you've got this raised bone cover, so that won't be permissible. Personally, what I do, I get one of these, and I keep that open. I either tie it at the back or keep it open. And I always have one pair of special slippers that I only use in Ihraam. And my advice, you get it in advance and start using it at home. Then you don't wear it outside, so it molds into your feet shape. Yeah? Are we clear about the footwear? Footwear is very important. Very briefly, when you enter into the state of Ihraam, it's something which is not only the physical aspect, but the spiritual aspect of it. You try and forget everything. You forget yourself and just remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You realize how insignificant you are. You don't even deserve to be scratched. You don't deserve any attention or beautification. You go into something which is bigger than you, better than you, more beautiful, that needs your full attention, Allah and the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the meaning of Ihraam. And remembering the suffer of the hereafter. Yeah? Okay, so whenever you want to say anything, before you enter into the state of Ihraam, it is sunnah to pray 2 rak'ahs. Try and pray, because some salat with some ibadat, like Ihraam, etc., it has a different sense and a different feeling and a different sweetness, and you want to enjoy it. So try and make time. If, for example, you've got half an hour in Egypt and you couldn't put on your Ihraam in Egypt, and you've not got time for 2 rakats, you've not even got time for wuzu, that's fine. You can just put on your Ihraam and make the niyat and pray the bayt. Yeah? Or you just put on the Ihraam, there's an announcement, flight leaving, then you leave with it. You leave your 2 rakats. But try to make time for it. It's sunnah, it's not necessary that you pray Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun Qul Huwallahu Ahad. After your namaz, you can either make the intention of Ihraam with your talbiyah or just the intention alone.
I heard recently that, in the plane, if it's not a person, it doesn't matter which direction the plane going, you can pray.
Yeah, Nafal and Ihraam 2 rakats, can you pray any direction, Mufti Saab? Yeah.
Because the Prophet, he even on camera.
Yeah, he can, yeah. So Nafal and Sunnah comes into the same category. You don't necessarily have to be facing the Qibla. If you're traveling in a certain direction, most probably you'll be traveling in the direction of Makkah, most probably, or close. Yeah, so you can just pray in any direction, sitting on your seat. Yeah. Now, like I said, it's sunnah to pray. If you can't, don't worry. Or like you said, get onto the plane and pray. You make your niyyah, and you already have that niyyah. You can't verbally express it again. But your ihram starts with the bayt. And all the restrictions of ihram apply with the bayt. Ihram shuru hoga niyyat se और 2 रकात नमाज से नहीं बल्कि लब्बैक पढ़ने से। जैसे तुमने लब्बैक पढ़ा, ihram शुरू हो जाएगा और ihram की सारी पाबंदियां लागू हो जाएगी. All the restrictions will apply. Now, say for example, you're going from here to Turkey. You've got 4 hours and 3 hours in Turkey, and you're going to put on your ihram in Turkey. You have the option, which is the safer option, put on ihram, you got 4 hours, do your namaz, etc. Just before you board the plane, you do your namaz, you do your labbaik, and enjoy everything. Yeah, and you start your ihram. That's one option. Another option is you put on your ihram, you do your 2 rakats, you make your niyyat, you can even make dua, but you don't pray labbaik. So you can use the fragrance, you can use the towel. There's no restrictions because your ihram hasn't started. And then you pray your labbaik maybe 2 or 3 hours into the flight before you reach Meeqaat, approximately an hour before you land Jeddah. You've got that option as well. But it's a risky one, just in case you go fall asleep, nobody wakes up, just in case you forget, etc. When you're traveling from Medina, can you do that? Just make your niyyat and then do your labbaik an hour after? Can you do that? No. Why? Because as you leave Medina, the Meeqaat is there. Before you leave that, past that Meeqaat, you have to have read the labbaik. Is that clear? Say you're going to Jeddah, you've got a 6-hour flight directly from here, say for example. Yeah? You can put on your ihram, everything, etc. And then an hour before you land, pray the labbaik, and then all the restrictions apply. It just give you that extra 5 hours. If you don't trust yourself that you won't be able to scratch, etc., then yes, you can delay it. That option is there. But do that which is guaranteed safe. Is that clear? Teacher? Shall we move on? So there's a whole list of things which are permissible and which are not permissible. Basically, fragrant, beautification items, etc., are not permissible in Ihram. You can wear your glasses, thankfully. Yeah? You can use an umbrella. Sisters, for sisters, the ihram is normal clothing, normal shoes, etc. And these are some of the things which are not permissible. I'm not going to go through the list. The list will be on the WhatsApp group. The presentation will be there, inshallah. Yeah? Is that clear?
Telegram.
On the Telegram group. All right. Yeah? WhatsApp's gone now. We're still in WhatsApp world. And is everybody on the Telegram group? Yeah? Anybody isn't, then that's the naughty corner. You join them. Any questions? So you put on your ihram, you make your way to Makkah. When you reach Makkah, you settle in the hotel. You don't have to do your Umrah there and then. I'm saying Umrah for those people who will be doing Tamattu and Qiran. If you're doing Ifrad, what does Ifrad mean? Hajj only. If you're doing Hajj only, then you won't be going for Umrah. You'll be going straight to Hajj. You might be doing Tawaf Qudum, but we'll come to that. You might be going for the arrival Tawaf, but we'll come to that later. Yeah. Most importantly, go to the hotel, relax, etc. You want to enjoy your Umrah. If you're tired, go for namaz, come back, have a rest. The best time normally to do your Umrah is late night, especially for us British. It'll be hot during the day. So maybe an hour after Fajr, but definitely not after 9 o'clock. Nothing between 9 and 5. And then after 5 it gets very busy. So normally an hour after Isha, it's not hot. Hopefully you have your hot curry and you'll have the energy and you can enjoy it.
So obviously we'll be going as a group, right? So will we be recommended to stay as the group for the Umrah?
So it'll be different in different groups. In some groups they might say, all right, we're going to go together. Some groups, there might not be anybody. In some groups you might not even have a guide. Yeah? Some groups might not even have a guide because they don't have the numbers, etc. So there'll be like one runner, and if they don't have over 100 hadiths, they don't get a guide to go with them. So you just plan accordingly. Yeah? And things like Umrah, etc. now you can YouTube it as well, etc. Any questions? What? You carry on praying labbaik until you go to Masjid Ihraam and you see the Kaaba. Once you see the Kaaba, you don't pray labbaik anymore. Yeah? Is that clear? एक दफा काबा के ऊपर नजर हमारी पड़ी तो फिर लब्बैक लब्बैक का मतलब I am coming, मैं आ रहा हूँ, कबूल करना. Accept my attendance. You're now attending, you don't need to pray labbaik anymore. Now, tawaf, like I said, you don't have to do it there and then. You can do it earlier or you can do it later. Better that you do it later. MashaAllah. You've got a big Maqam Ibrahim. And then Maqam Ibrahim came there. Nice one. We used to have a small Akram butter. Oh, by the way, yeah, it's upgrade. Al Falah has been upgraded from last year. In the new Al Falah, we got a new Maqam Ibrahim. First Hajj program in the new Falah. Anyway. Whenever you can go as a family, if not as a group, yeah. And even if you go as a group, if it's busy, chances are high that you will split up. Yeah. It's better you familiarize yourself with the whole area before you go for your first tawaf. But if you've been for Umrah, then it will be easier, inshallah. When you reach there, inshallah, when you enter that any other masjid, and if it's namaz is not started, etc., if it's not makruh time, you pray to rakat tahiyatul masjid. With Masjid Haram, if you go straight into tawaf, that tawaf will replace your tahiyatul masjid as well. If it's your first time you're going, then try and go with somebody who takes you and then takes you close into a good location where you can stand and see the Kaaba. The first time you see the Kaaba, ulama says the dua is accepted. Obviously, it's that first ever moment of seeing the Kaaba, a very special moment, significant, emotional, and automatically your heart will melt. You want to make the most of it and make dua. Even if it's not your first time. Every time you go, the Kaaba has that effect on you, inshallah. So you want to go, make space for yourself, stand and make dua. And make the most of it. That's why I say, don't go when you're tired, go when it's not that busy. When you've got time, there's no pressure on you that you've got to do this, that. Just take it easy and enjoy that ibadah, inshallah. So you go there. If it's time for namaz, then you might have to wait for namaz, then you can do your 2 rakat tahiyatul masjid, pray namaz, and then go for your tawaf after namaz. Whenever you go around the Kaaba will be the white marble area, which is called the tawaf area, matwaf. You will go towards HAJJ Aswad, inshallah. What's the boy going to give us a demo? Yeah? Wherever you are, you will be able to see HAJJ Aswad. Naturally, you can see people stopping and doing Islam, which is Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. And the HAJJ Aswad side, obviously, is near the door. So you can see that from anywhere. Yeah? So when you come, your tawaf will start from HAJJ Aswad. Before you start your tawaf, remember, you always need wuzu for tawaf. Tawaf is invalid without wuzu. Tawaf के लिए wuzu का होना, ihraam का होना जरूरी है. बगैर wuzu, बगैर ihraam, tawaf, ये उम्रे का तवाफ नहीं हो सकता है. नफल तवाफ बगैर ihraam होगा. HAJJ Aswad से तवाफ शुरू होगा, HAJJ Aswad के तवाफ खत्म होगा. Start at HAJJ Aswad, finish at HAJJ Aswad. When you come to HAJJ Aswad, your whole body will be facing towards HAJJ Aswad. You say Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, raise your hands, kiss your hands and just direct them towards HAJJ Aswad. And now your entire body will be in this direction, anti-clockwise. I think in the presentation it says clockwise, but if it doesn't, just excuse the mistake. And you, before you start your tawaf, sorry, I forgot to mention, you will be, because you're doing Umrah, you're doing Sa'i as well, you will be doing Ihtiba. Ihtiba means exposing your right shoulder. So your Ihraam, Fazal Bhai will do it. You put your Ihraam, Fazal Bhai, or what is it? Yeah? You put the sheet, this one corner from underneath your right arm onto your left shoulder. And you expose the right shoulder. Yeah, that's called istiba for all 7. You do it once and keep it like that. Yeah, and the Prophet ﷺ did istiba, so we do istiba. And one of the reasons is to show his strength when the people of Makkah accuse him of becoming weak. And then in the first 3, he took his chest out, he's walking fast. Allah, like that act, made it part of our tawaf and ibadat, and we do the same, inshallah. So first 3 rounds starts from Hajar Aswad, from the end, beginning till the end, and now you will not be directing your chest towards Hajar Aswad. Only when it comes to Islam, your face, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Yeah, just give them a quick then.
Alhamdulillah, we pray the break as much as possible from the hotel. You remember the door number, which door number you came in from, and this is what I tell people. When you made your dua, obviously, those who are going late, the whole mataf will be absolutely full, yeah, full of people. So what you do, you wait, watch, and observe, and then slowly you make your way towards Hazrat Aswad. Once you go, remember which is the easiest way to go. You don't go into the public, and then the best thing is to try and find the easiest way. As Mawlana said, remember 3 eyes: istiba, intention, and istilam. So open your right hand side shoulder, then stay in front of Hazrat Aswad. It doesn't matter whether you are, if you write at the back, then you look at Hazrat Aswad, Bismillahi Allahu Akbar, wa lillahi alhamd. So you've done your intention, Ya Allah, I'm doing tawaf for Umrah, make it easy for me, accept it for me. Ya Allah, मैं उम्रे का तवाफ करता हूँ, मेरे लिए आसान फरमा, कबूल फरमा. और हज़रत अस्वद के सामने दोनों हाथों को रखकर Bismillah, Allah Akbar. You can. Some people they do it once, some people do it 3 times. It's entirely up to you. Yeah. And in the 7 circuits, we have to keep our right hand shoulder open. And then, like you walk in a walking race, you open your chest out. Yeah. And then do your circuit. You all got 7 big tasbih, so you can count your tawaf as well, inshallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillahi wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-azim. Then when you come to Yamani, ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Then when you come to the first circuit, you don't put your chest in front of Kaaba. You just go Bismillah Allahu Akbar and just carry on. Subhanallah walhamdulillah.
So this is the second and this is the third. Yeah, we skip one. 3 finish. What will be different after the third one? Yeah.
Chest.
Yeah, you just do normal walking. Now you can't run away from the missus. You have to stay with her. Even in the first one, you don't run away. You just walk faster. Yeah, and you stay with the family. Yeah. So small steps. Yes. So first 3 fast, and then the remaining. How many remains after that? 4 will be normal. You keep your shoulders open for all 7. And when you do the Islam of Hajar Aswad, just once, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, and carry on. Yeah? Before they used to have a black strip on the marble, now they don't have that. That makes it easier as well. Just keep the flow going. Yeah? In the presentation and kitab, there's du'as written. If you remember, fine. If not, whatever dua in whatever language. Yeah, you can make your own dua in your own language if you've not memorized any of the duas. Is that clear? Any questions with regards to tawaf? Right. So when you finish your tawaf, finish it.
I'm on my 7th now, so you can face towards Hazrat Aswad, and then Bismillah Allahu Akbar. But make sure you cross the Hazrat Aswad line. If you do it before Hazrat Aswad, I'm finished, I'm going. Because you not, if you don't, it's like going in a racing line, race. And then if you don't finish your racing line, what happens? It's not finished. So same way, you have to cross Hazrat Aswad slightly, just a few steps. Make sure you've gone past it. Now, the ramal is only for men, not for ladies.
Ramal is the name of walking fast.
Walking fast in the first 3 circuits. In the first 3 circuits. Also,
Green light, green light.
Yeah.
And there's a green light at the back. Yes, Jazakallah very much.
So for example, if this is Hajar Aswad, yeah, the inner circle of the Masjid Haram, yeah, there will be a green light. Can you see it? It's there. That's why they put it there in Falah. Yeah? Subhanallah. There you Falah.
And don't forget to count your 7 circuits.
Sorry. So basically, what you have to do is just about when you pass the green light, you'll be just in front of, yeah, and Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. You don't stand there, you don't need to take time. Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. Yeah? Tawaf. If say for example, you get pushed or you forget to do in your istilam. It's called salam istilam. Yeah? If you forget doing istilam, don't worry, carry on. Yeah? It's sunnah to do it. If you miss it, don't worry. If you've gone past and you miss it, you don't have to push everybody and go back. No, just carry on. Take it easy. Yeah? Same with Ramal and same with Iftiba. If you forget it, just do it when you remember. They are important, but they're not wajib and they're not farz. Yeah.
So, you know, the Sa'i is easy to do Ramal because there's more space.
In Sa'i,
Or during the Tawaf, because in Sa'i as well you have to do the
yeah.
During the Tawaf, with people being so close, it's much
So Ramal doesn't mean run,
no,
etc. So
it's the
even if you talk together, you can still take small steps, yeah, and imitate what the Prophet did at your pace. At any pace you can do it, yeah.
If you forget your Ramal in the first circuit, and you remember in your second, then you read from the second. If you forgot both of them, then you don't have to do it third, fourth, and fifth. And if you forget all three, you don't have to do it from the fourth. You just leave it. Yeah? Okay?
Once you've done your tawaf is the main thing of your umrah. Yeah? The main wajib, like ihraam and tawaf. You finish your tawaf, then you pray 2 rakats. Praying that 2 rakats is wajib, you have to pray. The nature of it is nafal, with 2 rakat nafal, but you have to pray, it's wajib. Say for example, you did your tawaf after Asr and it's makruh time. In makruh time, do you pray a nafal? No. Then you don't pray it, you pray it later. After Maghrib, even after taking your ihram off, you don't get the chance to do it before. Yeah? That, it says you have to pray وَاتَّخَذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلَّى, near Maqam Ibrahim. But now people are doing tawaf there. You will see people trying to pray here and creating a barrier and causing all sorts of trouble and problems. Near Maqam Ibrahim means anywhere in the masjid. So far away, the back end of the masjid and mataf and tawaf is huge. You can go into the sheltered area and anywhere behind Maqam Ibrahim, in the area behind Maqam, pray 2 rakats. It's wajib to pray it. Pray your 2 rakats, make dua, another opportunity to make dua. Try and still keep your wuzu, but after this, if your wuzu breaks, you don't need to worry too much. Then it's sunnah to drink zamzam, and then in the masjid, where there's one minaret, the corner with the one minaret is where the Mount of Safa is. You go towards Mount Safa and you start doing your sa'i, which is wajib. You don't need wuzu for sa'i, but it helps to be focused, to concentrate, etc. It's an ibadah, you want to do it with wuzu if possible. If your wuzu breaks, don't worry, you don't have to go and do wuzu and come back again. If you want to have a short break, yeah, have some walkers and maybe digestives. A short break, fine, but don't lengthen it. Yeah, no, you can't go to the hotel and have a buffet and come back. No. Yeah. So, for Marwa, Safa, Marwa, Sa'i. You start at Safa, you finish at Marwa, you go. Now it's signposted. Mas'a, place of Sa'i. Mas'a, you just follow the signs, or you ask somebody, or you see the corner where there's only one minaret. You go, there's not much left of the mountain, you go slightly high, face towards the Kaaba. If you go certain locations, you can see the Kaaba, and then you make dua, and Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, you pray takbir, and then from Safa till Marwa. Yeah? There will be an area where Hazrat Hajira, she left Hazrat Ismail near the Kaaba, she feared animal might attack her, etc. Animals might attack him, etc. So there was a valley. She went down and up quickly, meaning after the rain. Now it doesn't exist. It's flat marble, but they've put two green lines. Between the two green lines, men only, you will run, remembering Hazrat Hajar alayhi salatu wasalam. At this point, you can run away from the whites. But then when the green light finishes, you stand and wait. And then you carry on together. So सफा से सही शुरू होगी, पहाड़ पर चढ़ करके, पहाड़ तो कुछ बाकी नहीं रहा है, लेकिन कुछ धजा नहीं, वहां पर जा करके दुआ करें, काबा को देख करके, बिस्मिल्लाह अल्लाहु अकबर करके नीचे आए, मीरें अफजरें दो ग्रीन लाइट है, उसके दरमियान हम दौड़ेंगे जैसे आज दौड़ी थी, और फिर नॉर्मल चाल चलेंगे, सफा से लेकर के मरवा तक एक चक्कर खत्म हो गया। इस तरह सफा में काबे की तरफ मुंह करके, इसी तरह मरवा में भी काबे की तरफ मुंह करके दुआ करेंगे, और फिर बिस्मिल्लाह अल्लाहु अकबर पढ़ करके वापस सफा। 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We start at Safa, we finish at Marwa. Yeah, and your Sa'i is done. Any questions regarding Tawaf and Sa'i? Ji.
You know, in Umrah books, there's a lot of du'as before you start your tawaf. There's a du'a like you do this and.
So before Tawaf, there's no raising the hands, etc. Istilam only. When you go, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, that's it. Yeah. With regards to du'as, etc., if you can read some of them du'as, fine. Yeah. I think the most authentic one is رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ between Rukn al-Yamani and HAJJ Aswad. Yeah. Sometimes what I do, you don't have to do that. Sometimes what I do is I start off with istighfar, first few chapters, istighfar, tawbah, etc. And then one or two durood upon the Prophet ﷺ, and then maybe one dua for the ummah, etc. And then one dua for the self and the family. So you can experience all these different formats.
Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. What about that? Is it dua?
No, that's a Quranic ayah. Yeah, you don't have to pray that there. Yeah, I don't think I've come across with the Prophet ﷺ praying it there. Sunnah hai. Yeah. So you can, if you're happy, or you can memorize that Quranic ayah. Inna Safa wal Marwata min sha'airillah. Safa and Marwa are from amongst the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a Quranic ayah, and it's written on the ceiling, on the circle. Yeah, if you're happy, etc., remember these ayahs, you can pray them. It also helps to bring about that consciousness, that you're in a sacred place, etc. They have historically, even pre-Islamic era, they were known as significant mountains. There's a lot of detail behind Safa and Marwa, but we'll escape that time.
One quick question. I've asked this elsewhere.
Yeah, just a second.
So if you're
Not because you're asking friends, just that you had your hand up before.
in case you find yourself doing tawaf at the time of namaz,
Yeah.
obviously they stop the tawaf.
Yeah.
I've not read anywhere, but I've been told that you should do that tawaf again. Is that right, or do
Not necessarily.
Place?
So say for example, I'm doing my tawaf, I'm just sitting here, and namaz is started. Yeah. So I'm now for namaz, you obviously have to face the Kaaba. So then I'm going to do my namaz. Or say for example, there's space in that stuff there, I might just go there. Yeah. And I'll finish my namaz. Once I finish my namaz, then I'll come back to where I stopped and carry on. You can carry, you should carry on. Yeah. That's the better way to do it. Don't do your whole chakra again. There's no meaning to that. Yeah? Go on, somebody else. Yeah.
Can you carry a string bag on your Umrah tawaf?
Yeah, you can have a string bag. It's better to keep your shoes etc. with you, because if it's your first time, you might not know where it is, and there's pressure. You're doing your tawaf. Somebody, I hope my shoes are still there. I hope my shoes have not been taken away, and all that. Worry. Just keep it with you. It'll help as a buffer. Somebody pushing you from the back. Yeah? Somebody, yeah, go on.
Also, just to clarify, the slippers I've asked you to wear them in the actual, not in Mataf, but Say area, those compliant slippers, can you wear them or should you not wear them?
Now, Sa'i area is part of the masjid. So it is disrespectful to wear slippers in Sa'i. Yeah, but you can have slippers that you've not worn outside for Sa'i. So what I normally do is, you know them hotel white slippers that you get free? Yeah, if you stay in a five-star hotel. Yeah. So I normally take some of them, yeah, and I just cut it.
Umrah socks, you've seen them, you know, the one with the leather.
Yeah, Umrah socks, etc. Yeah,
So they're fine,
but
yeah.
white blends in and you can't notice it much, etc. And it helps sliding as well. If you're really tired, I'm old, yeah, it's mission to lift the leg. Sometimes you can just slide, you know, and it helps somebody like you. Most of you guys are young, you shouldn't even think about that. You should run it through. Yeah, but yes, you can have. Now some of you might have other reasons of wearing slippers, etc. Yeah, similar with the sisters. Even in Mata, you know, if there's a reason, then you can have footwear, but they have to be, especially for the masjid, not something you wear outside. Yeah. Obviously, this place is barakati, so if you have bare feet, better. Yeah, but then some for medical reasons or health reasons, etc., you can. Yeah.
If you get the opportunity to get close to the Kaaba during your tawaf or just after you finish your tawaf, is it recommended not to
So
stop?
no, you do your tawaf because to hold the Kaaba, etc., you can. It's sunnah. It's sunnah. It's sunnah to just touch Rukn Yaman. But it'll be so busy, you try touching it, you'll be pushed, you have to push. It's better to avoid it. Secondly, sometimes Rukn Yamani has ittar and fragrance on it. You've got to be really careful from that. If you touch it and it comes onto your hands, yeah, then a penalty, yeah. I don't mean a football penalty where you can score it. And similar with HAJJ Aswad, there's normally fragrance in that area as well. Sunnah is to finish your tawaf. Afterwards, you can put the Any other questions? Oh, it's only quarter to 9 yet. So
No,
okay.
it's 9:22.
Should have kept winter time. Yeah, so 9:22 is it? What time is Isha?
10 o'clock.
Well, we normally try to finish 15 minutes before the Adhan so you can go to your local masjids. Yeah, and I'm sure you're tired of this Boltonian accent. We need a change of accent. So, Sa'i is done. Final thing after Sa'i, what remains after Sa'i? Another wajib you have to do. So, no, there's no 2 rakat after Sa'i. Yeah? And clipping or shaving of the hair. Try to shave it. Or, shaving of the hair is sunnah. You get 3 du'as of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Especially when you're going for Hajj, etc. How many times are you going to keep on cutting and clipping? I don't think anybody has got hair that long. Yeah? So, shaving, and normally, Safa Marwa side, slightly near Gaza area, there's shops there, or near your hotel. You can just go there and have your hair shaved, inshallah. Do not sit with those. Sometimes, now normally they don't now these days, but there are some unprofessional people who shave on the streets. Try to avoid that for hygiene reasons. You have to shave your hair. You will not be out of Ihraam until you have either cut or shaven your hair. Sisters, they will be cutting their hair. Yeah, and normally sisters, what you do is just get the end of your hair, what we call as the chotla, and then you just around the finger and you cut that much, approximately about 1.5 inches. Yeah, that's how much the sisters will cut from their hair. Once you've shaven the hair, back into normal clothing, etc. And your Umrah is done. And then you will wait for Hajj, inshallah. Now, some of you, after Umrah, might go to Medina. That's fine. But then on your way back from Medina, if you come in safe on the night of Hajj, then you just do the niyyat of your Hajj. Or if you come in a few days before, then you can do another Umrah. And then you finish that Umrah and you're in Tamattu, You take off your ihram, inshallah, and then when you come to the day of Hajj, you will put on the ihram for Hajj. Any questions? MashaAllah, this year's group is good, man. They don't have questions. They know it all.
The full soil after. Any questions? Inshallah, full soil. Plenty of free time. प्रोग्राम पर से ये बच्चा मोबाइल में चालू कर रहे हैं
I'm gonna WhatsApp Telegram they don't ask, they just type.
The reason why they have no questions is because Sahil answered them at 3 o'clock in the morning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rahmatullah salli ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. I had the easy job of just saying yes, no, decide now with the hard job. Just a few things. Normally when I do the introductions, I talk about the maqasid, the purpose of Hajj and Umrah. It's not just about, Allah Pak's giving you the money so you go for Hajj. There's lots of things along the way, whether it's Tazkiratul Maut, reminding us of our death, whether it's understanding the heritage of the Anbiya and where our place is, whether it's mending a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one thing is, what Hajj will do, it shows you who you really are, not who you think you are, but at some point it will show you who you really are. So, on one point, just to relate, I think sometimes in our community we have, I don't want to call it a lack of romance, but misplaced romance. But that question about husband and wife, if things work out and you can do the exact same thing at the exact same time, alhamdulillah, yes, nothing wrong with that. But here's a question for you. Was Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's ihram the same or different to the azwaj? It was different. Was Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's ihram the same as his daughter? No. Was Hazrat Ali, the husband who came from Yemen, when you study the seerah, even his ihram was different. So it's about doing the right thing at the right time for your circumstances. Take it, inshallah. It doesn't necessarily always have to be hand in hand. Well, I remember one of the years, Scale might remember, Bichara Uncle Ji, probably one of Fazl Muhammad's friends, he came up to me and he goes, if you do Ramal and Tawaf, I'm going to lose my wife. Bichara was worried. So I said to him, look, normally people's du'as get accepted at the end of Hajj, you get accepted at the beginning of Hajj. So don't worry too much about these things if you can stick together. In terms of the tawaf itself, the istilam, I think one was mentioning, the Bismillah, Allahu Akbar. The ones in the middle are not that important, the mustahab or sunnah. The ones at the beginning and the end are important, yes. But generally you don't have an issue beginning or end because you're either starting or finishing. Again, don't underestimate any sunnah. I think that was a good question the brother asked. If there's no space, you'll find at least 1 meter to fulfill the sunnah. So Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala, I know somebody actually asked him this question, that we've taken over Makkah Sharif, there's no, the Muslims are now in charge. We don't need to show off our shoulders and we don't necessarily need to march. Why are we doing it? You understand the question? It applies today too. Why are we doing it? So again, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala, he got a fantastic job. He goes, we do something because it's now sunnah for the sake of it being sunnah. And if it doesn't remind you of anything else, at least it'll remind you of the effort that our Nabi went to secure Islam for you and me. So what I'm trying to say is that every step of Hajj and Umrah, there's lots of things, baqiyat, just to give you that special understanding, so that in the end of it, you can actually get exactly what you're looking for, inshallah. And that just brings me to the end, to be fair. This is the time, Al-Falah is the time, I just come to attend like you guys to learn. Sometimes Mawlana is kind enough to throw the odd question my way, it helps me increase my knowledge, but this is when you start feeling Hajj. You actually start, you think, no, wow, you're going to Hajj. But in order for you to take advantage of that Hajj, it's not simply a case of turning up. Now, first and foremost, you start off, and you do this evening, if you've not already done it, read to nafal, you ask khair from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do your istikhara, and then you just pause for a second, because in the hadith, what's mentioned is, Al-Ummar wal-Hujjaj wafdullah. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that the people that are selected for Hajj and Umrah, they're Allah Pak's delegations, yeah. Now, for all you that have been following Mandelson, yeah, he was also a delegation, but he failed the security clearance. Yeah. Yes?
Yeah.
Who here has passed the security clearance in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Probably none of us, but still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the ability to go for Hajj and Umrah. That in itself was a very, very big ni'mat and a very, very big blessing. And I mentioned this in a couple of other programs. MashaAllah, we got a lot of hufaz, especially in the Gujarati community. First it was at every corner of every street, now it's at the third house, MashaAllah. So we all know that we can take 10 people to Jannah, yes? And everybody knows, Hifz Khatam, yes. But some of the books actually mention that for Haji that has an accepted Hajj, he can intercede for 400 people on the Day of Judgment. That's your worth. That is your, if you get it right, that is your worth. And why does that start? That starts now. Spend some effort, read the kitabs, go over the notes, try to make, obviously we all make mistakes. It's not a problem making mistakes, don't worry about them, inshallah, there's ways out there. Not everything turns out to be a dumb, but just concentrate, go home, start with the basics, the spiritual basics, write down, sort your loans out, etc. There's a lot of things that we missed out as a community. We don't tend to get right. Hajj is a reason to make it right, especially before you go. So that starts now, inshallah. I don't really have anything else to say. Most of the questions, mashallah, Mawlana had answered without my assistance. If there's anything else you guys can ask, if not, then I'll pass it to.
Anybody has any questions? So tomorrow we want you all be ready with your labbaik. Everybody be able to recite their labbaik. And inshallah, everybody should be familiar with the terms, or at least what it means. Tamattu, Ifrad, and Hajj. Tamattu, Qiran, and Ifrad. Tamattu, Hajj and Umrah with 2 Ihrams. Qiran, Hajj and Umrah with 1 Ihram. And Ifrad is Hajj only, obviously 1 Ihram. And have a look at your itinerary, etc. Make sure you have a rough idea where you're going to put on the Ihram, when you go in Makkah. So then, when we talk about the 5 days of Hajj tomorrow, inshallah, you have a good idea. Yeah, we want to finish, inshallah, maximum 35. So you've got enough time to reach home or to your local masjid. Yeah, today's the first day. We're taking it a bit easy on you, inshallah. We will try daily to finish about 35, 40-ish. If someday we can't, then just excuse us, inshallah. Today's been a bit easy, a bit slow going, etc. Yeah, we might do the Mandelson days from tomorrow. But inshallah, we won't leave anybody behind. We'll make sure you understand and you follow everything, inshallah. Yeah, so okay. Any tips? Yeah, question?
Can you just briefly summarise the agenda for the next few days?
Right, so basically today was Umrah. So tomorrow we will start the 5 days of Hajj. Normally takes us like 1.5 to 2 days, 5 days of Hajj. Yeah? Or sometimes a bit more than 2 days. And then maybe Thursday or Friday will be Medina. Yeah? We can't, it depends on questions, etc. But roughly we get it done in about 4.5 to 5 days. Next 2 days will be Hajj, inshallah.
We're mindful as well that Marcus has got a door as well on Friday, so if we could try and get it done on Thursday, inshallah, we will do. But what we've done previously as well, like if we need to overspill, come back next week for a couple of days, inshallah, we'll be able to do that as well. So,
if you have any questions regarding nusuk and all that, etc., then so here's your guy.
Any general questions everybody has, inshallah? The biggest thing we can say is consolidate everything that we talk about at the end of each day. Anything that doesn't make sense, bring it back the next day and we'll revise it. We'll revise it again. So by the end of the week, everything should be ingrained within your mind. You know exactly what you're doing as well. It's very, very important that each of you understand what's happening on each of the days. We'll give a little bit more reverence and a little bit more time to the day of Arafat, because that's a very, very, very important aspect of your Hajj, because as you know, Hajj is Arafat, and without Arafat it's not Hajj. So Mawlana Rashid will speak about Arafat in depth. I've always liked listening to Mufti Asmar when he talks about the elders and the scholars and how they revert the day of Arafat, the importance of Arafat, and how to make the most of the day of Arafat. And then pretty much the next day, the 10th of Zul-Hajj, is a pretty much business end of Hajj, which is the hectic day for all of you, where you won't know what day it is. The majority of you won't anyway, because it's that hectic and that tiring. So we'll talk about the 10th of the Hajj in quite detail, and then we'll finish off with the latter 2 days of Hajj, inshallah, and then obviously go over to Medina as well. So if there is anything pressing anybody would like us to discuss or go over, then please don't be shy. This is your Hajj, it's very, very important. You only do it once, it's for us only once, and you want to make it count as well, inshallah. So if there is anything, do let us know, inshallah. If there are any questions, we'll give 2 or 3 minutes open mic for any questions, inshallah.
And even after those 3 minutes, a few minutes, we'll still be around. You know, myself, Sohail, Fazal Bhai, and Mufti Saab. Any very difficult, then you've got Mufti Saab there. Yeah. Asif, you've got Bilal P. And Bilal Patel, and we've got they did, and Yunus.
God, yeah, Yunus, inshallah, will be there as one of the guides as well.
Kaya niya, thok kaya niya Malsa Liverpool ne botu hantan na behrin.
We've got Firoz Paps there as well, inshallah.
So these guys normally go for Hajj and are quite regulars. So if you need to ask anything, if there's something you're shy, go, I don't want to ask, you know, the Premier League guys, just go to...
Khalid's been in all the Hajj programs, so you should get him over here.
Any questions, queries, just feel comfortable, relax, yeah?
Honestly, don't feel you're in an environment... I know you'll be doing all your Hajj programs with your packages and all various local Hajj programs, but we like... The popularity of this program is the fact that it's very informal, it's very intuitive, and it's very easy going. And no question is a silly question, and no question is a very complicated question. And if anything, it's an education for ourselves as well. So please feel free to fire away. Yeah, if the sisters have got any questions, just write them down for us.
Yeah. Sorry. Let me just take these questions, yeah? Yeah. So, Qurbani.
I know when we're going to do it,
yeah.
Basically most people, they can do it through YouTube, but you don't know what time you're going to get the Qurbani done, so you have to wait.
We'll come to it when we come to Qurbani.
I'll talk about it tomorrow.
When we come to Qurbani, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously,
what do you say? Hulk. Incredible Hulk. Oh, Hala. Oh, sorry. Hulk. The green man. Hala. Yeah.
Do we have to be out of the state of Ihraam before we can do our wives?
Yes.
No. They cut their wife's hair before having their own shave. Yeah. You can't. So basically, you can't cut hair, but this is part of, you know, coming out of Ihraam. So you can cut your wife's. Say you've done one Umrah already and you do another Umrah, etc. in a day or two, you can also take Wilkinson's and do one another's. Saves you 10 riyals. 5. Yeah. I've gone off, yeah, so I'll still accept 5. Any?
One also
just a second, yeah.
During Ihraam, if we break our hair.
During Ihraam, if we unplug our hair, so normally, what people do yeah, you might have one hair there, one hair there, etc. At the end of it, people normally give like 30 riyals, 40 riyals, 50 riyals sadaqah to cover. Hopefully, you won't be pulling out the whole beard or etc. Yeah, it'll be just a few hair here and there. Normally, you know, you give sadaqah at the end.
To be honest with you, Mawlana, it's a very important point because a lot of the times nowadays, a lot of the Hujjaj will come to us at the end of day one, at the end of their Umrah and say, Sohail bhai, I need to give dam. And I'll say, yeah, no problem. And I'll tell him this is how much it is. And I'll ask him, what was the violation? He said, oh, I've plucked a couple of hairs. And I said, there's no need for a dam for that. So understanding is very, very important here. The point I'm trying to labor over here is speak to the guides and scholars amongst you. More importantly, speak to the scholars because, you know, Ihram is a strict ritual. It's a strict state, but the rules around violations is very, very lenient. So if somebody was to aggressively scratch their arm or leg, then they're going to shed a lot of hair, a lot of skin. So that might be liable to a little bit more, like Mawlana just said as well. But if you're going to be doing your wuzu, then you're naturally going to shed a little bit of hair here and there, and there's no need for any sadaqah. The fact that we give sadaqah is just to compensate and just to expiate everything that what you feel would have been a mistake. But what we do find a lot of the time is, the pilgrims will come and say, oh, I've done this, I need to give 3 dams. And we say to them, there's no need for that. So it's very, very important for you to understand because the last thing you want
is you to be in a state of Ihraam. You've just come out of your Umrah, and to have this doubt in your mind, have I done this properly, have I not done this properly? And that state of mind in Hajj is very important because you're in an environment with people you're not used to. So you're outside your comfort zone, and in that state, you can have doubts coming into your mind, and that will put you in a very, unnecessary situation, inshallah. So do bear in mind that these little points are very important because we observe these year on year, and we take it away and we think these are the emphasis, these are the points that we really need to labor with the pilgrims, that everything has a good reason and a good concession, and just ask us if you're not too sure about that.
There's a question from the sisters, we forgot to mention. Sisters, if you have any questions, just ask, put it on paper and then pass the paper over from tomorrow, inshallah. Is that a qurbani we do as a shukr for after Hajj? In the tamattu and qiran, you have to do a qurbani then. The question is, alongside a normal qurbani? Yes, alongside a normal qurbani. No qurbani for ifrad, Hajj only. Qurbani only for qiran and tamattu. But we will cover this in detail, insha'Allah, when we come to qurbani. Before adhan happens, if anybody wants to leave, then they can do so. Yeah, it's not very good to leave the masjid after the adhan happens. That's why we're going to try and finish quick. Yeah, anybody needs to leave, you can leave. You don't. Yeah? Anybody has any questions, then you can come forward. Anybody needs anything else? We're still here till Isha. If anybody wants any of us to go over anything, then just come forward. G. Yeah, come forward. So niyat, before you pass the Meeqaat, your niyat should be done what type of Hajj?